Welcome back, everybody, to Doc Lale Talks Comics. So I've got a stack this week, and it's a lot of great stuff. So let's go ahead and dig in. Okay, my pick for this week is The Invisible Man, issue number 2 by James Tynion IV, Danny and Brad Simpson. And here we get to see Jack continue to lose his sanity because he has crafted an invisible cat. And the invisible cat, although it doesn't like him, don't forget, the process of becoming invisible also works for this animal, just like it would work for Jack or me or whoever got injected with this serum. It also makes them a little bit smarter than they were before. So the cat got away. He's a one-eyed alley cat, and the cat got away, and now he's invisible. But he wants to hurt Jack, but at the same time, he's kind of like, hey, you made me more than I was, so thank you for that. And eventually, Kemp, Jack's lab assistant, gets a chimp, and it really upsets Jack because the work that he's been doing it all hours of the night by himself, and now he's got this chimp to worry about. It's not like you've got an actual human that'll tell off on you, but a chimp is close enough and smart enough that it possibly could in nonverbal ways. So he's got to find ways to get around this thing. And at the same time, he's in love with his boss's daughter, and he's trying to figure out here, he's like, how can I get rid of this damn chimp? And that's his words. He's like, with a damn monkey. And this is one of his visions of him coming up behind the guy and stabbing his eyes out with his fingers. But that's not real. So it's a power trip. That's what this character is on. He's on a power trip because he knows that he needs to do something to really impress this girl's father in order to win her heart. She already loves him, but to win her hand will be the next step. And in order to do that, then he's got to come up with something absolutely magnificent. So he ends up luring the cat inside, and the cat and the chimp fight, and oddly enough, the cat dies, but something happens to the chimp as well. So Kemp accuses him of going, and trying to mess him up. He's like, you've sabotaged me and sabotaged my work. So this is really interesting stuff. It's psychological warfare on a weird scale, because you've got the main character who knows what he's after, knows what he wants, but at the same time, he's having an awful lot of fun getting there. He's got that twisted kind of sense of humor that he, is a black-hearted type of thing. So it's fun to watch him kind of move all these pieces together and twist them together like a Rubik's Cube that only he fully understands. It's really great psychological horror stuff. All right, next up we have Ultimate Spider-Man number 21. And this is with Jonathan Hickman as writer, Dave Messina as penciler. So we're in September now, and we get to see Mr. Negative kidnap somebody who he feels is close to the Kingpin, but he's actually got another secret. It's one of the Mysterios. And so Mr. Negative is trying to find a way to take down the Kingpin and consolidate all of the different boroughs under his control and his control alone. So meanwhile, you've got Ben and J. Jonah Jameson trying to figure out, how can we really get more people to read this newspaper? How can we bring people in by droves? And they decide that the story that they need to tell is one about the Kingpin, which they've avoided for a while. So there's Harry, there's Otto Octavius. It's all kind of spitting together towards the very end, because supposedly issue 24 will be the last issue. And I don't know, it's great, but it's infuriating at the same time, because I remember when the J.M. DeMatteis Spectre series with Norm Brayfogle got canceled, and they went all the way up to issue 27 like nothing had changed. It was just like there was going to be an issue 28, and then there never was. So to continue on as is makes sense, because that's how this book has moved in real time the entire time that it's come out. But you would think that you need some bigger, I don't know, some bigger movement across the board. I mean, this entire issue pretty much deals with Mr. Negative building up something against the Kingpin. But one thing there's been a distinct lack of in this series is all-out action. 1 or 2 issues out of this 21 issues so far has been all-out action, and everything in between has been exposition that has built up bigger and bigger set pieces. But we have yet to see those pull off. So hopefully you'll get to see those before issue 24 hits and the Ultimate Universe goes away. All right. Man, Zerta Trion looks very upset here. And I've got a feeling it's got something to do with the Sacred Ring. Void Rivals, issue number 23 by Robert Kirkman and Connor Hughes. And here we have somebody blasting the sun out of their forehead. No, I'm kidding. It's the Agorians and the Zertonians, and there is unity. And it says, praise Zerta. It's glorious. And it doesn't seem like unity to me. It seems like everybody's hurt and in pain, and it's a brash thing, and it's weighty, and it's weighing on these people, and it's destroying both societies. And they have said through the first 22 issues that unity is the devil. I mean, it is absolutely Bobby Boucher, Kathy Bates, devil, level evil. And here you get to see on this 2-page spread that they're telling the truth. It's ripping both societies apart. But you have to wonder, speaking of J.M. DeMatteis, there was an episode, there was an issue of Silver Surfer towards the very end of the first volume's run, well, the second volume, from 1987 to 1996, I think. There was or 1998, somewhere along those lines. Anyway, it was issue 141, I believe. And the Surfer comes across this almost black hole. And it's like that movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson. And there's a scene in there where Scarlett Johansson's character says it's like you're reading your favorite book, but the words keep getting further and further and further apart until eventually it takes you years to get from one word to the next. And it's kind of like that with the Silver Surfer. He hit a temporal portal from the microverse, and he hit it full steam ahead. But as he starts to punch through, he feels his very fabric of himself just disappearing. He's like, if I continue on, I'm gonna cease to be anything. I'm just gonna become part of this digital snow that's, and it was kind of a cool thing because that's what it looked like. It looked like almost like the Matrix, before the Matrix. And it feels that way here, is that everything is falling apart. But what if, because you get this giant hand of Goliath you have to wonder, what if they had just pushed a little bit harder? Would they have survived? Was this all destruction right now? But in the end, Proximus and Zerto would have been right, and they would have been able to survive this. Who knows? Maybe we will try this again in the next issue, because Proximus calls off the Agorian forces. Hang on a minute. Let me not lie to you. Nope, the Zertonians, I'm sorry. So he leads the Zertonians away, and Zerta is not happy. He is not having it. He's like, not when I'm so close. So, come here, you. Meanwhile, Dalek's father says, let it be known that the Agorian army defended against a full frontal assault from the Zertonian forces, and it held strong. But at the end, you get Salila, and Salila is in a bad spot. I'm not going to show that page, but this is really ramped up into space opera, Star Wars, Star Trek-ish levels of storyline. So I can't wait to see what happens next in Void Arrivals. All right, news from the Fallout. I thought this was only a 4-issue mini, but apparently it's a 5-issue mini. And we get this really great charcoal type artwork from Jeffrey Allen Love with a story by Chris Condon. And here are three of the survivors from Old Joe's Diner, and they're trying to find their way to another town. And they decide to finally leave, and they get in the pickup truck. They come to realize Sheridan McCoy, the general, he was trying to spread this zombie apocalypse type thing. He was the one that was behind the red dust, which everything in this book was black, of course. But he was the one behind the red dust that caused all of these type zombie type characters. So in the end, our characters end up in a town called Deadwater. And no, it's not like Silent Hill, but something did happen in Deadwater, and we've got to follow them into the next issue to find out exactly what happened. So good stuff. It's kind of losing me just a little bit, but I'm hoping that it comes back around. Now, really, Green Lantern? 2 emotional punch issues back to back like that. This is issue 27, written by Jeremy Adams with art by Zermanico. And we have the 5th and penultimate part of the Starbreaker conspiracy, or supremacy. Could be a conspiracy, you never know. And at the beginning, you get Hal Jordan talking to John Stewart and explaining and saying, you always do the right thing no matter how hard it is. And in the end, John is called upon to do the right thing. And unfortunately, it comes at a great, great cost. So, I'm not going to say what that cost is, but I will say that the Lanterns have captured a really big army to combat the Starbreakers, who are just cosmic vampires. They suck all the energy out of life, out of the universe, and then they move on somewhere else. And John gives a rousing speech, and he says, we might have a chance, and you might have a chance to start over, to be something more than you were, to put away your past and live for your future. And that's Hal Jordan was a military brat, but John Stewart, it's in his bones. It's in his bones, that military training, to give Captain America level speeches to people, to try to bring them out of themselves and make something bigger of themselves out of a situation. So he says, make your decision now, fight for us or die in these cells. And all of a sudden you start hearing boom, boom, boom. So they're banging against the cells saying, we will fight for you. or at least for ourselves. We may not fight for the Green Lanterns when this is all done, but we will fight for you at the moment. And then you get the Starbreakers all coming out of hyperspace pretty much, and they're headed towards Oa. So we've got one more issue to go, guys, in this Starbreaker supremacy. And it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out conclusion. I've just got a feeling, because I believe in... I don't believe in Starbucks. I don't believe in Bunny Rabbit, Easter Rabbit. I don't believe in the Tooth Fairy. But I believe in Jeremy Adams. All right, guys, we've only got 3 more books to cover here. Escape, issue 2 by Rick Remender and Daniel Lacuna. We pick up here with Milton trying to figure out how to get back home to his girl, the one that he left behind, the one that he married. And through this entire thing, you get to see how they met. You get to see that she was an ideological visionary, you know, going out there and railing against the man. And Milton was complete opposite. He said, you know what, I don't want to fight about things. I just want to go up in my airplane and sightsee and see the sky and touch the sky and just feel what's ephemeral up there, what's ethereal. That, you know, y'all worry about, like for example, she says the fascists are not going to stop until they've claimed the entire world, and we must stand against them. And Milton comes up to her and he says, excuse me, miss, I hate to break up the sermon, but I run a high-flying outfit over yonder, and your little soapbox derby's not helping business. And her father comes up and he says, do you own this wheat field? And he says, no, old Johnny Grupper lets me use it as a runway for half my earnings. It's just, the wheat's just a bonus. Makes for a softer crash. And her father looks at him and says, how nice to daydream on someone else's land while the world burns around you. So you've got 2 different ideologies here, but you get to have it. This has got so much heart. This book has got so much heart in it, because you get to see how much love Milton has for his wife and his unborn son. And that's why he says, I've got to go and I've got to enlist and I've got to protect those that I love. This is right up here with the Sacrificers, guys. If you're not reading this, I don't care what you feel about anthropomorphic animals. If you're not reading this, you are absolutely missing out. And the Daniel Lacuna artwork just pulls it all together. Let's see if I see anything. Nope, can't show the last page. But it's almost got that same watercolor effect that the Seasons have. So check this book out. You will absolutely love it. All right, Kernan. I didn't know Kernan was a character. Conan, Scourge of the Serpent, issue 1 by Jim Zub, and I believe it's Ivan Gill. And this has got this awesome Roberto Della Torre cover on it. This is a #1, so we will talk about this in an upcoming episode of Initial Assessment. Awesome Conan stuff. All right. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, The Rite of Spring by Patrick Horvath. And you get to see the continuation of, let's see, I think it's Diane. Let's see. Let's see where she got off to. Sorry, guys. So anyway, it's this duck lady, and she is trying to find out what happened to her brother. You get this kind of trippy sequence here where she wakes up in a nightmare, and Samantha's at the door, and she's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and she says, you know, I know how important it is for you to find your brother, and I want to do everything I can to help you. And then she wakes up screaming. And what can I say about this world other than Patrick Horvath has built something that feels real, even though, again, it's anthropomorphic animals, and that's all it is. You get to fall in love with these characters. You realize, hey, this is much more than just a story about funny animals. You get to find out exactly how far, you get to find out where Samantha's killing tendencies came from. And it's almost like her origin story. So, in and amongst that, then you get to see that she's built a life for herself. She built a life for herself, and she said, you know what, I want this town to trust me. I want this town to say, you know what, Samantha is above reproach, and she's perfect. And, no, if something ever happened and I got found out, then I don't want anybody in their mind to say, hey, this is what's going on, and I think she had a part to play in it. So it's really getting to the nitty-gritty on it. I think it's going to be a 6-issue mini, just like the first mini was. And if you're into good characterization and you want to see what's happening with Samantha and company in the town of Woodbrook, then you owe it to yourself to pick this book up. All right, and last but not least, guys, I'm sorry, guys, I'm tired. It's been a long week so far, even though it's been a short one, and we're not quite done yet. So just kind of tired. So I apologize that I'm fading here towards the end of the video. Kelly Thompson and Hayden Sherman in Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 12. Come here, you. And you've got Wonder Woman against her Amazonian sister, Clea. And they do battle with this awesome artwork and energy-filled artwork by Hayden Sherman. You can almost feel the smack there from Clea. And she's determined to get out of this maze. And she wants the Minotaur Ferdinand and her sister Io to get out and make it to freedom. And somehow you get to see the magic of these two sisters coming together. They're not healed, but in the end, Diana says, you return to whatever Atlantean home you lost when you were trapped here. You were a monster in this maze, but are you a monster outside of it? I'm willing to take the chance to find out. But you will find me less accommodating if I see that you're still a monster when given your freedom. But the choice is yours. So she gives her sister a chance, which was really what a lot of people, a lot of people don't get a second, third chance. They just don't. If they mess up, then they go to jail, or they hurt somebody, or they kill themselves. And here, you get to see Io tell Diana's mother that she lives. So we end on a high note there. This series has been really, really great. I'm going to have to start culling some of this stuff because it's just so many books each week. And I hate to do it, but I got to wait and see how this next 4, 5, 6 issues on Absolute Wonder Woman goes, because it's the only Absolute book that I'm still reading. I've already dropped Absolute Flash. I gave Absolute Batman the first 4 issues. Absolute Superman, I think, was the first 4 issues. And then Absolute Wonder Woman I've stuck with. So what did you guys pick up at the shop? What were you excited about? Did you get excited when you saw that the new Conan miniseries was coming? Because I did. Jim Zub is absolutely knocking it out of the park. Now, I would be even happier if we got the Roberto Della Torre artwork on the inside as well as on the cover. But I love it. It's great stuff. And I can't wait to share that particular issue with you coming up very, very soon. Take care, guys. Let me know in the comments what you bought this week and what you're reading, what you're hating, what you're loving, and everything in between. Are there any movies that you've got that are coming out that you're excited about? Any video games? Let's broaden our horizons and talk a little bit about everything, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.